morning. Yes. Good morning. Hello, everyone. Oh, as usual, I don't have my light up. Give me a second. Get my light up. Get my light up. Get my light up. Much better. Okay, light up, light up. Way better. Okay, super excited today. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, everyone. Who's on today? Good morning. Okay, while we are waiting, let me say this to you guys. I am super excited. When I say super, super excited, and I have some great news. Great news. Great news. Great news. Okay, here we go. It's two. Let's see, where is everybody at? Let's see. Let's share this. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right. We're going to give up one more minute. But in the meantime, I would just like to share something really quick. I have a friend that is just so awesome. When I came to California, I didn't know anybody by myself, but I was coming to make my goals and my dreams a reality. And I met this lady named Joyce. And I just want to let y'all know, Joyce has been down with me like four flat tires, 2 years and 2 months. Yes, 2 years and 2 months. She came to my office, we bonded, and she was like, "Oh, you don't have nowhere to go. You don't have no friends." Invited me to her house for a little barbecue, which nothing she does is little. And it was on from there. Share who you are. I need to know who you are. Let me know. Let me know. But Joyce was phenomenal. When I say phenomenal, she was phenomenal. Anything that's going on, she reminded me, she's invited me. And we went to the casino, and I have that video. We just had fun. And then we went out to dinner, and then we met for some little adult time after work one day this week. And she's awesome. But the main thing about Joyce is she always is remembering me for Christmas. And remember the last time I showed you the earrings that she gave me? So let me show you my Christmas gift that I just got because we were so busy. Now, this was the first thing in the box. So I thought this was it. This is from a boutique shop. This material is really soft. It looks heavy. And I don't know if you can see like the images of the people and everything. It is the village. It is wonderful. Like, this is precious. That's number one. Exhibit number one. Exhibit number two. See, when people really know who you are, you see how nice these are? I'm a bling blinger, right? Exhibit number 2, nice earrings. Yes. All right. Now let me give you exhibit number 3. Joyce just showed out with this. Just imagine a white shirt and some jeans. Oh my God, this is too cute. This is way cute. You see it? Oh, it's adorable. I have exhibit 1, 2, and 3. Thank you, Joyce. Thank you, Joyce, for my Christmas. All right, now let's get into it. Who's here? Who's here? Let me see something. Someone say something so I can see you. Let's see what's going on. Okay. Today we're talking about savings. I have done on TikTok for the last 4 weeks. We've talked about budgeting and ways of getting money to do what you need to do to pay off your bills. But I really need to get into the savings, and we'll revisit budgeting probably in another 2 weeks, but we really need to get into savings, okay? Because a lot of people have savings goals for 2024. That's what we're here for today. Saving goals for 2024. Can someone put their name or something in the chat? I see 3 people in there, but I would really love someone to say good morning, some thumbs up, something. It just makes me feel inspired to keep doing it because I'm in a room by myself, and I just would like to know that I have my friends among me. And I love you guys so much. Did y'all notice that I tried a little different? I didn't have any lipstick and I did something different, but I ain't gonna even tell you because I'm a little embarrassed to tell you about this lipstick situation. But anyway, I'm super, super excited for us. There's 4 people on here and I can't see you. Put something up there. Hello, how you doing? Where you been? Who you are? Something. All right. Savings goals for 2024. What are your saving goals for 2024? We're in the 20th day of the month. And I know in December you made a lot of promises to yourself. You wrote some things down. You even did a vision board. But where are you today? January 20th, 2024. Where are you? Did you do what you said you would do? Did you start out right? Or did you get sidetracked? Did something come up and took the little money that you start saving and you had to spend it? Yes. Good morning. What happened? Tell me what is going on with your 2024 savings goals. Number 1, you have to be very decisive, meaning very specific about what you're going to do. Oh, my beautiful, I don't want to mess my makeup up. My lipstick, y'all know I don't do no real makeup. Valerie, yes. Now, I'm not going to keep giving y'all shout out because I noticed when I was editing my videos, I had to do a lot of editing because I was talking to y'all too much. Know that I love you. Mwah, Valerie, oh. Jill, you know you just made my day with Val being on the call. All right. So this is how it's going down. 2024, you woke up and you said, I'm going to do everything that I wrote down. So the first thing you did was you made all these commitments to yourself about what you were going to do when it comes to saving for 2024. But the first thing you have to do is be specific, very decisive. What is it that you're going to do? I always do action plans because if you do that with some SMART goals, then you will not miss out. So let me use my example for savings goals. Even though I have other savings goals, I'm just going to use this because I think you guys remember and it'll resonate. I said that I would save I wish it was just 20, $200 per pay period for 3 years for the Super Bowl game in 2026 in Santa Clara, California. That is my goal. Now, y'all know my bills and everything is good, so I can do this. So what I did was I set up an automatic allotment to come out of my direct deposit going straight over to Navy Federal into my checking. And then I have to click a button and I put it into, I think it's like 4.83 some interest rate, right? So I put it over in a savings with it, which is really, really good, right? So I made a decision. I had an amount. How often? Every pay period. What is this for? For the Super Bowl 2026. How often am I going to do it? Every pay period, which is um, every other Friday. That's 26 weeks, and I think it comes out of 526 per year. And say I do it for 3 years, that's about 15, 18, 16, uh, about 15,000. All right. And it's a little bit more than that, but $15,000. Now, surely I can get in that building doing something. I might not eat nothing. I might barely can park, but I'm going to be in there. And I might be way up in the nosebleed because $15,000 in 3 years probably be nothing. But that's my goal. What am I saving for specifically? How often? How much? And notice I have a safety. It's not that I'm manually taking money out of my check. I'm automatically letting it go over. So I have a system. And this money in Navy Federal is where all my savings is. I don't mix anything together. Oh my God. I'm just, oh yes, I'm not gonna make any shout outs because we gotta stay focused today. But I love you. I see you. Now, when we do that, it's like it's automatic. Your savings goals are automatic. I don't have that saving goal mixed with my checking account. This is extra. It's someplace else and it's collecting its own nice amount of interest. I didn't even add any of the interest that's coming, but that might pay the little interest that I'm getting. Like I think it's 4.83. That interest I'm getting might buy me a hot dog and pay for my parking. But the $200 per pay period of 26 weeks, every other week, which is 5,200 and $5,026 for 3 years, about 15,000. That's it. It's automatically deducted from my payroll and it automatically goes over into Navy Federal. And I set up an account just for that. Okay? Just for that. And I'm excited about it. Now, if something go down and I just have an emergency and something just really, of course I wouldn't be going to that money would be going there. But for specifically now, it has its own account. Now that's being purposeful, that's being specific, and that is being dedicated and deliberate. Because when you mix those funds, when anything happens, then you pull it out. Now, tell me, what do you think the best ways are to save money before I get in and give you my input? Give me some feedback. What are the best ways to save money? I'm waiting. Okay. Auto draft. Yes, that's, I just think when you do auto draft, it get the temptation away. Auto drafting your savings goals is one way of making sure that you stick to your initial goals of what you are doing and why you're doing it, because it takes the stress away from you to try to figure out if you're going to get that money and put it where it needs to be. You just set it and forget it. Also, yes, you put it in the bank. You just put it in the bank. That auto draft. Now, you have to take the time to set up an auto draft, and that takes no time. You can do it on your phone in seconds. Now, if some of you that's not interested in doing auto draft on your computer, you can go in and talk to the attendants, the cashiers, and they will help you to set that up. And you just sign the little form and you go on your merry way. I tell you, automatic draft for your savings goals is imperative. This is one of the best ways to keep you on task. So, give me another example. What is the best way to save? Now, TikTok has a lot of little nifty ways now that people are saving. And Dave Ramsey came up with one of the most flawless plans. Okay? And that is the envelope system. So when I was teaching that 13-week financial piece many years ago, the envelope system. The envelope system is very, very important. Yes, because you have a set envelope for savings and a set envelope for all the other things. And I'm just staying focused on savings today. But if you get paid every week, every 2 weeks, you have allocated what amount that you will stick in those envelopes. And if y'all don't know any better, our family's been doing envelope system. They just didn't have an envelope. They hid it under mattresses and all little nick and crannies, especially our grandparents, because they didn't really believe in the bank. My grandmother had a handkerchief, and she would put these coins and tie up the handkerchief and hide it, all over the house. Sometimes they would put them in the upper part of their body, and the older men, they would put it in their pocket. They would tie things down. It would just be amazing how they would hide money. But the envelope system is really awesome. So think about it. You set the amount of money that you're going to set aside weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, or quarterly, however you do it. And then as the money come in, you put it in the envelope that's labeled savings. And you need to label it, for me, saving for Super Bowl. And that's what my envelope would look like. And that's how you do it. That is how you do it. And you just put it in there and you forget it. And if I was you, I would hide it so no one can get to it. And most people that have envelope system, they have very good hiding places. And some people have little safe. But so that's the second way, auto draft or envelope system. Let's do another one. I think someone said, this is good. Someone said that they set up a savings off of their checking account, right? So with that being said, somehow or another, someone has to transfer the money, even if they let the bank know to pull it at a certain time, or they manually go in and take from the checking and put over into the savings. So that is another way of being able to save. Now, the envelope system is just like any other system of just saving on your own, not having a financial institution doing it. What other ways can you save? All right. This is big gun things here. When you start investing and you start getting dividends, you can use those dividends to save for those little extra things that you need. So on the on the areas where it says what to do with your interest, your dividends, all those things, you can reinvest, okay, which is another way of saving, or you can have it to go into a specific place. Now, there are penalties if you do this, if you haven't met the maturity, if you're doing certain things. But let's just stay focused and show you that when you're doing high yield savings and investment, that money is making money for you. So I have one that's like $20,000, and I made like so far it's like $579, but of course it just stays in there. But just think, that could be money for someone's emergency fund. So savings can come in different ways. The goal of the savings is to let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be. That takes discipline, temperance, fortitude, and so much patience. Because sometimes we see the money in the savings and we are just so wanting to do something with it. But when I think about savings, I say that's not my money. That money belongs to whatever I've defined it for. So, am I going to steal from that? This is above and beyond your emergency savings. We're talking about savings for other personal fun things, or if you're saving for a house, or if you're saving for a car. Whatever you're saving for, it's above and beyond your $1,000 emergency fund. So now you have money in an envelope. You have an automatic draft take coming out for your savings, or you're just saying, I'm going to let my money work for me, and I'm going to keep reinvesting. I'm not going to touch it. And whatever at the end of the year, some people do it in January, some people do it in December. They look and say, "Oh, this is what they said I have." Because December 31st is that's gonna be your last maturity for that calendar year, and then January you'll see it. You'll be like, "Oh, this is what I made," and then you can make a decision if you want to move some things around. And some things mature at different times of the year, but that is a form of saving. But that is your way of being disciplined. How many of you feel like you have control of savings? Now, I love we have someone that says the auto draft, and that is an example. Thank you so much. That example of auto draft is what I do on my job. We take it from what your paycheck is, and you automatically find a place for your savings. But you've done the rudimentary work. You've made a decision of what you're going to be saving for. You've allocated a place for it. Where is it going to go? And how is it going to get there? Am I going to manually put it there in an envelope? Or am I going to manually walk into the bank? Or am I going to auto draft it? Or am I going to let this money just come from some of my dividends or my interest? So that means I'm just not touching it. And how often is this action going to happen? Weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annually? How are you going to do it? If you're waiting for a maturity date, then it will probably be annually if you have a 12-month. If you have a 2-year or 18-month or 3-year, then it just stays there and you don't touch it. And there's a penalty sometimes for early withdrawal. But that auto pay from your checking account, because it usually your automatic draft comes from the checking account where your deposit for your check goes. This is the easy way, and it just happens automatic. And you've allocated for the beat. How long is it gonna happen? So you know when it's gonna happen, but how long? Are we gonna do it for a month? Are we gonna do it for 6 months? Are we gonna save this money for a year, 2 years? How long? I'm saving for 3 years. So that is the goal that I have. That one little amount. I didn't commingle that money with anything else because I want my $200 per pay period for 3 years for my Super Bowl 2026 in Santa Clara, California. That money is in an account that I have specifically for that. And as of today, it's 4.83% interest that I'm gaining. Now, remember, I told y'all I started last year and I really did, but I got so excited I moved that money over. So I said, let me go ahead and put a real account. See, this is why I try to be transparent with you. I have such financial goals with savings. I think it was October. I started saving for this. But I realized I got the cart before the horse. I said I was going to start in 2026. So when I told you guys I had saved about 53,000, I ended up saving about 55,000 because I said, I'm not talking about a Super Bowl. This is the money that I said I was going to have when I wanted only to save 50 last year. And I ended up being able to save 55. And so January, I said, okay, let me just do a whole account for this. And so that money that was coming out, even though it was going to Navy Federal, I have an account just for that. That's what I mean by having something dedicated. Now, whatever you decide to do, and so we have people talking about CDs and high yield savings account. All those things give you dividends or interest. Those are things in which you can save those extra little things because you're investing into your financial future. But those extra little dividends can be your little savings account. Okay. Now, that's a great idea. What are the pitfalls when saving? Give me some examples of pitfalls when saving. When you're trying to save money on a consistent basis above and beyond your emergency fund, what are some pitfalls? What are some things that really could come up? What are some things that you need to think about so if it happens, you're ready? Temptation, temptation. We're tempted to borrow from our savings to do other things. And we have to stay focused. How do we stay focused? We get a picture of something that we're saving for. If you're saving for a house, a car, jewelry, whatever you're saving for, clothing, a purse, whatever that thing you're saving for, get a picture. Because that vision will say, I don't know. If you're saving for your children's college education, you want to have pictures of your kids in a cap and gown in your head or just graduation pictures. You want to have something that will help you stay motivated and on course. The pitfalls of saving is we get impatient. Then we say, oh, I'll just borrow the money from the savings to do this or that, and I'll put it back. Savings is savings, and you have to be ready. So just imagine if you say you were saving for a house and you just kept pulling money out and you never put it back. And then the interest rate finally get to where you want them to be, and you're sad because there's no money, there's no down payment. Delayed gratification. That is what Americans really need to work on. Delayed gratification. No microwave, no instant. So your dream of saving for your household, your new home, saving for a home, saving for a trailer, saving for a car, saving for your children's education, whatever you're saving for, it will be delayed when you keep taking from your savings account. So have that vision. And also, let's get a mantra. We're going to have a vision, a piece of paper, something that we can see our goal. And the second thing, the mantra is, what are you going to say to help you remember to stay on task? For me, I'm saving for the Super Bowl, for those tickets. So I say to myself, I will be able to experience something that is like a bucket list for so many people. Something that the little girl, single parent home, living in the projects will be able to go to a Super Bowl. And I'm not even a sports person. I just like the camaraderie and the laugh. But I just want to do it because I can. And that is what financial empowerment is all about. Just being able to just go just because. But to keep that, because for me, just like I pulled that money from it last time and I start putting it somewhere else because I wanted to see that 50,000, 55,000 at the end of the year. So I was like, forget the Super Bowl. And I pulled that money back. That's why I regroup and I said, how can I teach a principle if I don't do it? And I just went on and opened a separate account so I can be true and I can give that back. Now, what is it that you feel that will be a really good reason for you to go against your savings goal? What do you think is, oh, this is worth giving up my savings? You already have emergency fund. So their emergency is not going to come up for this. We're not going to use an emergency. But what experience, what issue, what barrier will make you not continue your savings journey? I have no idea. I have no idea. Okay? Tell me, what is the thing? What is the thing that will keep you from continuing your savings journey or discontinuing your savings journey? What is the thing that will discontinue your savings journey? That goal, that house, that car. What is it that will deter you from that goal? It has to be something super, super important. It has to be. Because if you have a goal, you have to stick to it. It's just like paying your bills every month. It's a requirement. Your light's going to get cut off, your gas going to get cut off. You're going to get evicted within 3 months of not paying. Like there's some consequences. So even though you're a free will agent and you're saving because there's something, but at the end of the day, we need personal fulfillment that we can start something and finish. We can't let the wind, strong winds may blow. We can't, the rain is pouring down, raining. We can't let the cold or the extreme heat. We can't let the pressures of life keep us from going against our savings goal. We have to stay focused. We put the money where we allocated it to go for the season of time and we leave it there. Back in the day, people did not have a lot of money. So for Christmas, people had Christmas saving club. So they would put so much money every pay period, every week down. So by the end of what? End of November, they're able to have the money. I think that's the earliest you can pull the money out to start buying your Christmas. And whatever that dollar amount, that's all they had, but at least they were able to save it. Because what happens is if you don't have a Christmas savings, what you'll do is you'll charge that stuff up in November and December, and come January, here we go with another bit of debt. So back to your savings. We have to have discipline, we have to have patience, and we have to have a vision. And the vision board is very important because you see it. When I was buying my first, I call it a highfalutin car, and oh, they call it luxury vehicle. When I was buying my first luxury vehicle, I went to the dealership and I went with some scrubs on, and for some reason it wasn't like my really good scrubs. Blood had gotten on me, and so I just wore the hospital scrubs. So you know how crazy they look. But I was so excited, and those people did not help me. I guess I looked like the little orphanage, and I was in this raggedy car that my dad was fixing, and so it still was rusty, dusty. I mean, I looked a mess, the car looked a mess, and they didn't acknowledge me, and that hurt my feelings. So the next day I got dressed up after church, and I went in and I just sat in the car, took pictures. It was actually in the showroom. Took pictures standing in front of it. Then I developed those pictures. Back then I developed the pictures and I put them all over my house. And back then they gave you a book, like what the car does. And it was a whole, with the engine, all the features, what you can buy, yada, yada. That book was on my little prayer table where I prayed all the time. So all day I would see it in my bathrooms, on my refrigerator. Like, that vision was ever present. Now, true vision boards wasn't popular back then. This was many, many moons ago. This is like 2002 or something. But anyway, I ended up getting so frustrated with the people that didn't help me in my city. I went across the bridge, 45 minutes in South Carolina, and I built my car from the beginning. Now, I tell people, don't do this stupidness no more. I was young. I didn't know any better. Buy a car that somebody else has already um, basically paid for, and all the problems you'll know about it after about 2 years, and then get that car. But anyway, so guess what I did? You know I'm a Cancer. I'm gonna get that knife and I'm gonna gut you. I happened to go by because it's off the interstate right by my house. So instead of getting off the interstate going left to my house, that little devil was on me. So I went right. Of all days, they were done for the day. It was a Saturday, and they all was sitting outside at the Mercedes dealership having some type of meeting. And I nicely hit my button, which I had took a minute to figure out because I couldn't get my window down, but I played it cool. And remember, I'm looking cute because I just got my new car from South Carolina. Put the button, and I said, "Excuse me," and his name was Jerry. Jerry, remember me? I'm the lady you wouldn't sell a car to. I'm the one that you wouldn't even help. Remember me, Jerry? Look at me now. And I just rolled by. I mean, it was seconds. Do you know for 5, 6 years, every time I went up to the dealership, people would say, because I would have to get my car fixed, service. And they would say, "You're the lady that got Jerry," because Jerry was a stickler. They laughed to this day. They said, you shut the meeting down. But it was to let him know that when you judge people and you put people in a box because of the way you look, he missed out on that interest. Oh, I forgot. I did say, don't you work on commission, Jerry? And then I let the window up and I went by, reminded him that, you see this? You lost it, buddy. You lost it. And Jerry didn't talk to me for a long time before I went in there. And then probably about maybe 6 months later, he came over and shook my head and, and we were good. But you missed out on the sale. And I don't know what his commission was, but he missed out on the sale. But anyhow, that's life. That vision stayed before me. It stayed before me. So I paid off every debt that I had before I bought that car. Because I wanted to make sure that when that car came, that I could afford it. When you have your financial goals, you don't let nothing deter you. That is why the emergency fund is important. Because if you have your emergency fund, then you start saving for your next thing. You're not tempted to have to go into the emergency fund. Into your regular savings because you have an emergency fund, which is for emergencies. So let's recap. When you're saving for your 2024 goals, the first thing you have to do is identify what is the savings goal. I am saving for my 2024 Super Bowl in Santa Clara, California. I am saving $200 per pay period, which is every 2 weeks, that is automatically drafted to my Navy Federal account. And then I click a button and put it over into a high yield savings at, I think it's 4.3%, 4.8%. And I'm doing that for 26 weeks for that year. And then the next year, another 26. And then it'll probably be half of the year because I think the Super Bowl will be by then. But I would have done it. And I'm not touching it because it's going somewhere and it's getting a little interest. And I'm not tempted because it's all the way, it's not even attached to my checking account. It is separate. That's the goal. And I'm moving on. So because I've gotten paid twice this year, this is January 20th. We just got paid today. But I already moved the money over on Wednesday. So I have $400 towards that. And that seems like, oh, you got to get all the way to $15,000. But I have time and I have patience. And the vision is that I'm going to be with my country self sitting up there at Super Bowl. How are you going to do what you said you're going to do with your savings? How are you going to stay focused? How are you going to stay dedicated to the cause? You have to have a vision. You need to see this, because when you're tempted, temptation is going to come, and you want to be able to say, I did it. I did it. You talk to yourself and you say, no, this money is for X, Y, and Z. I am saving for this. And you go back to that vision of what you want to see. If you're saving for your children's college education, shame on you if you touch that money. All right? If you're saving for your house, a better car, some people are saving for small things at one time. Somebody might need a transmission so the car that they have could start working again. Well, buddy, let me tell you, let's go and find some money from all various and sundries of ways. And sometimes you have to call upon the people that owe you some favors. It's nothing wrong with asking family and friends when you don't have an emergency money and you have an emergency. And that transmission is needed so you can get back to and fro from work. All right? So figure out a way to make sure you stay focused on your financial goals of savings for 2024. Now, it takes time. It's just like when my grandmother used to make a cake, and she would give us those little spoons and the thing from the blender, the mixer. We would get those little things, and we waiting. So we've eaten the batter that's all left, or the bowl, and we're sitting there just waiting. And she's like, "Be quiet," because they always used to say the cake was gonna fall if you made noise, you know. So we would have to go in the living room, but we'd be anticipating that cake. As soon as it come out, we want to eat it. And she's like, "No, it has to sit there, and and the cake has to cool off." So we ready. Grandma, is it cool off? And the cake cooled off. She said, "No, I gotta decorate it. She's got to put the icing on it." We're like, "Oh, here we go." We're still waiting. And we're just like little kids. That is how you are with your savings. You want things to come up so fast, but we just got to let it marinate. And finally, the cake is cooked, it's cool, and now it's decorated with the frosting and the little sprinkles, whatever. And she would make a carrot cake, red velvet cake, pound cake, and sometimes they would make for Christmas those what are those cakes called? Fruit cakes. And they would put that wine or whatever, and then those had to sit. You couldn't even eat those. They had to sit for whatever, however long. But when we finally was able to get a piece of that cake, oh, and see, children didn't eat sweets a lot back then. So when we got a piece of cake, that was like, oh my goodness. We would be so happy. Our little toes would be twinkling and our hands. We would just be so excited to get that cake. And it would be so moist and good. That's the experience I want you to remember. If you just wait, hold out on your savings. Don't touch it. You need your new car. You need the new house because you're cluttered and cramped where you are. You need to move out from your in-laws. You need to continue to save for your children's education. These are things that you need to do. So you have those goals. Let's stay focused. Now, if you have not set up a plan of an envelope system or automatic deposit or transfer from your savings, from your checking to your savings, we need to go back. It's only the 20th day of the month. Let's recap and go back. These are your action plans. What is it that you're saving for? How much are you putting towards the savings? Where is this money going? What is the location? Is it an envelope? Is it a bank account? What is it? Or is it into a high yield savings or a CD? Where are you going to put this money? How often is this money going to go? What is the amount and how often will it go there? And how long will it take you to save it? And that's it. Set up all those plans. Do not attach it to anything that you can pull back over. Find a separate savings for it. Even though it might start out in your checking, it needs to be a separate savings. No household saving. It needs to be separate. And if you can leave it alone for at least 6 months to a year, you can put it in some type of CD, high yield fund, where you can make some interest off of it. Make your money work for you. The envelope system does not do that for you, but it's what's good for you and comfortable for you and your household. If you use the envelope system, please just find a good place to hide it so no one will take it from you. And that's it. That is it. Yes, that's it. The vision board is the best way to make your dreams come true because you actually see it. So I hope that this little time that we've spent together, it's been so precious for me that you go back and reevaluate your 2024 savings goals. We already have $1,000 in our emergency savings. And if you don't, please go back and look at plenty of videos that we've talked about how to have money budgeted for your emergency savings. Today, we're talking about savings for things that you need or savings for something fun. And also, I forgot to talk about, you might be saving for a trip. Whatever you're saving for, it is important. Now, before I let you go, I have to be transparent about something else because I totally forgot about this. When it comes to savings for trips, I have 5 trips this year. And so I pay X amount of money. I don't want to say because it's a lot. But I have to save like that. And I put it to the side. And each trip is paid for. And I am going with a big group. So, it's real easy. And so the venue is paid for. And then the next time you pay for the flight. And then the next time you throw a little spending money over to the side. But that's how you do it. And I started this June of last year for the trips that I'm paying this year. So by June of this year, all the trips will be, I got three in the first part of the year and 3 in the last part of July through December. So with that being said, I'm advanced. I started putting this money away towards it. And I set a certain monthly, well, it was every other month, that I would put towards that. It's easier when you do little bit by little bit. So you pay for your venue, you're like, yeah. Then you get your flight and you're like, yeah. And then it's easy to get you some spending money. But how about not spending up all the money that somebody give you for Christmas or your birthday and use that as a trip? It's real easy. You just have to put your mind to it. And last year showed me that I'm a savings junkie. When I was able to pull off 55,000 for 2023, I'm addicted to saving. So where I think it's so easy, that's my passion. But I've gotten over the being in debt, and this is my 3rd year of paying off the 124K in 16 months. So what else do I have to do? I'm traveling and I'm saving and I'm just enjoying life. But I'm still budgeting. I'm not all willy-nilly, going out buying a new car, flogging and buying all these clothes and stuff. That's just not who I am. Because when you debt-free, you don't want to spend money. You're still looking at ways of saving, but you have to reprogram yourself and say, okay, it's time to start spending a little money. I thank you so much for being so gracious to talk about 2024 saving goals. And if you're not where you want to be, if you not have set those priorities and set those benchmarks and deadlines, today is the 20th. Let's get busy. Let's start now. You still have another 11 months to make it happen. Yes, to make it happen. You're going to meet your savings goals. You're going to meet your savings goals. You're going to meet your savings goals. And you're going to do it by one payment at a time. Paying yourself in your savings account. If you're going to save more than 6 months, you need to put it in something that you can get some good interest, some dividends, some money off of your money. Don't just leave it in regular old savings smiggly. Put it somewhere. And also that makes it a little harder for you to pull it because they're going to charge you a little penalty. So let's leave that money over there. Above and beyond your $1,000 emergency fund. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you. Goodbye, Jill. Goodbye, Becky. Goodbye, Valerie. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Give me some likes. I enjoyed you. Oh, Valerie, yes, you did say that. Yes, your savings from your checking. Yes, yes, you can do that. You can take some money from that checking and put it over to your savings. And Becky talked about her auto draft from her job. Yes, yes. And then let me let you know, you guys were talking about high yield savings even before I was saying it. And the CDs, yes. And these investments, those savings bonds, anything that you can do to put that money away so you will have it when you need it. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. So I have no idea. We're so good at ignoring people that say crazy stuff, and we're good. We're beyond that. 4.8% interest from where? Oh, that's Navy Federal. Jill, you asked me about the 4 point. That's Navy Federal. 4.83. Okay, so they have regular CDs, and then they have special things for you. You can do a 3,000 for 1 year. It's called a special interest, but only 3,000. And then they have other special interests that you can put as much as you want. Excuse me, I think 100,000 is the limit. But for that 1 year, and it's at 4.8 something. One time it was at 5.2. One of them I have is 5.2. So all my savings for that 55,000, it's from a 4.3 to 5.2. And the majority of them are 4.78 to 4.83. Those are majority. Because every time I got an extra $1,000, I was open up another. I was open up another one. Yes, 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 yes. So I hope I answered all your questions. I'm doing very good with staying focused. Because I've been using these as little mini videos, and you guys have, your presence just helped me get excited, and I can share, and people are really enjoying our segment. So I thank you to my group in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia, and Augusta, Georgia. I appreciate you, love you. Thanks for being here. And there's some people in the background, like I said, that I can't hear. I'm so grateful that you tuned in, and we'll share these snippets. Thank you. And welcome back, Valerie. Welcome back. Oh, I know Valerie said I was so wrong when I started talking about those cakes with my grandmother. But you see how natural that was, to give y'all the example of the cakes from my grandmother. Oh, I was in the kitchen. I could see that kitchen. And then that kitchen looked so big. When I think about it now, it's like, oh, we were just so little. We didn't have sense enough to know it was small. But that's what love is all about. And then when I told you about Jerry at that Mercedes dealership, Jerry. Oh, I never forget that day. But life is good. And if I know what I know now, I would have never built a car and that's too much. But you live and you learn. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Saturday, or as they would say, Saturday. Talk to you later. Bye.